Okay, got a couple people on. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring our city council meeting to order for this Monday, October 28th, 2024. Let's go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, let's do roll call real quick. Councilor Myers.
Here.
Councilor Rich.
Here.
Councilor Cuthbertson will join us via Zoom and hopefully in person a little bit later. Councilor Williams.
Here.
Councilor Lindner.
Here.
And Councilor Winther will not be available this evening. So we're going to go ahead and ignore 2.1 on the agenda. I don't have that prepared, so we're going to skip over it this evening. And we're going to go straight to public items and comments. Can I get one of the counselors to read 3.1, please?
I'll go for it.
Okay, go for it. Thank you.
The public comment period is designed to gain input from the public. Public comment is not intended to be a dialogue between the council, staff, and any person making a comment. Any person who raises a question during public comment should rest assured that the city staff is making a note of your question, and the council and staff will work together to identify the appropriate city official to follow up with you directly.
Great, thank you. Do we have any public comment this evening? No one's jumping out. Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, no public comment this evening. That's fine. All right, we're going to go ahead and move on to the Benton County Sheriff's Office report. Why don't you go ahead and come on up? And we'll need to turn a mic on for you. Steve will take care of it. Thank you, Steve. We've got the report in our packet as well.
So I apologize. I don't actually have the report in front of me, but
Okay.
my name's Greg Savage, Benton County Sheriff's Office. I'm here representing the Sheriff's Office tonight. Appreciate it.
We could probably ask you any questions on the report. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. You guys have any questions for our deputy here? Give him a moment to peel through it.
Not really any questions about the activity log. I mean, it looks like there's a lot of activity, but
Really?
It's a little concerning that there's somebody busted going 74 and a 45, but
Yeah.
Well,
Well, at least it was in the 45 and not.
yeah, it's true.
this is very true.
And do you know, I know that there's a lot of events going on in town for Halloween.
Mhm.
Do you know if they're planning on having somebody down here?
Absolutely.
I know
So
in the past they've had
the
somebody at the
sheriff had
substation.
asked me to express to you that he will be here
Okay.
on Thursday for, sounds like the trunk or treat and like
Yep.
those types of events.
Perfect.
And then I do know also there will be several more as well.
Okay.
I don't know exactly who I'm trying to be here, but it just depends on shift
Yeah.
coverage and stuff as a patrol deputy. So
Well, I just know in the past we've had at least one person that's
Yeah,
either at the substation or they're cruising around.
I'm
and-
gonna say you'll
handing
prob-
out
probably have at
badge
least two.
stickers and
Yeah,
whatnot.
and it sounds, if I recall, I think reserves were planning on coming down as well and doing something. So
Awesome.
it's just
Great.
That's what I had heard.
Great. I know the sheriff has mentioned it before, so that's
Yeah.
great.
In regards to the patrol log, I do know that we've been getting complaints of obviously speeders coming over the bridge and
Yeah.
into town. I've made note of one in particular and sent it out patrol wide, telling people, hey, we really need to focus on Fifth and obviously Orchard as well. People coming down the hill can oftentimes be cruising through the neighborhoods just way too fast.
Yeah.
So that is something that we're definitely noting. And then,
It seemed like it helped when you guys had the trailer out there
Mhm,
just because
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are more aware. They look down at their
And
thing when they see the sign flash out.
I will pass that along. I do know that that trailer is in high demand.
Yeah, I
bet
think
it
there's
is.
just the one. So it gets placed all over the county.
Are there
but
places, I mean, I know, so do you guys ever do like, I don't know if, would that be on us to put in like some kind of traffic calming? I mean, I know they have permanent versions of those
Mhm.
where, I mean, whether it logs stuff or not, it'll,
So I
it'll
don't
flash and-
know specifically. My guess would be that it would be something in conjunction with the city and Department of Transportation. But that's a question that I'll bring forward because correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you're talking about like maybe the speed limit signs that show.
yeah, the one,
speed, like,
basically
permanently,
just like the
maybe
trailer
it'll
where
flash
basically,
and-
yeah, it'll flash
yeah.
and say slow down or whatever.
that-
It'll show your
The
speed.
one along South Third Street, just after you go over from
Yeah.
Mary's River, just like that one.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, it seemed like the trailer helped, and I mean, if it, you know,
We're not
if the trailer itself is in demand, and also it kind of takes up, you know,
Well, and I've noticed that.
street real estate.
Yeah, I've noticed that as I do patrol here, if I sit on Fifth, pretty much right in front of Dairy Mart, I actually don't often catch speeders because people see me and go, "Oh shoot," and slow down. So, yeah, like I said, we're making note of it, and I'll ask, and hopefully I'll either share with the sheriff or I'd like to be here next month as well. And it's something that I could pass along, but I could also email or contact any of you.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, because I know that there's a little bit of a bureaucratic thing
Yeah,
with it
I just-
because over here off Territorial where they're coming down the hill and over off Orchard, like are not,
Yes,
they
Absolutely.
may be in city limits, but they're not city streets or
yeah,
Right.
maybe working with the county or.
yeah. No,
Absolutely.
I will
Yeah.
ask and I will get some good
Or
answers for you.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll say
great.
clear
Thank
for
you.
But yeah, other than that, like I said, we will have presence here with events. It's something that, and I do know that the sheriff wanted to be here tonight, but like I said, he'll be here Thursday. So,
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank
Great.
you.
Any
Yeah.
other questions, comments?
Thank you for coming here.
Nope. Thank you for
Thank
what
you.
you do and thanks for coming down.
appreciate you.
Thank you,
guys.
Deputy Savage. Have a good evening. Thanks. All right.
Council, by the way, are between $4,000 and $5,000.
Okay. All right, Ken, with Republic Services. And that's not your last name, but we'll go with it. Come on down.
Hello, council. For the record, I'm Kenneth Larson with Republic Services. So it's that time of year where we come and we let you know what rates are for the coming year. Before, no, I'll just go into that first. So as far as rates go, thankfully, we've seen calming in kind of fuel prices generally for what we have. The rate adjustment factor this year is 3.2%. Primarily that's CPI and disposal costs. So what that practically means, I wrote this down, what that practically means for your residents is depending on the size of the cart from a 35 or 35, 65 or 90, it's between 75 cents a month for 35, it's 94 cents for 65 and 90 cents, or I mean, for 90, it's $1.16,
Okay.
Per month, not per,
not per billing, that's per month. So,
okay, so
so-
$1.50 every 2 months.
Yeah.
Right, starting at the small size. and-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so double that. So, $1.50 to $2.32. So, so it's right along where it historically has been. If you look back over the years, it's just right there, which is one of the reasons we use these RRI rates. It keeps your increases small and regular instead of having to do giant rate increases to catch up every few years.
And would the rate increase go into effect?
Okay, the rate increase goes into effect January 1.
Okay.
And we will be sending out notices to all
Okay.
customers.
Will those notices be electronic and mailed?
They're part of they'll be part of the billing notice. So if,
Okay, so depending on how they're enrolled to
Mhm.
receive their.
Billing
bills.
purpose.
You'll have it on your website too, right?
that we don't typically have that, but if people will be notified either electronically in their, when they get the notice, that they got an electronic one or
Okay.
in the mail. It may be if they log into their account, they may see something.
Yeah, that's what I meant is I log
Okay.
into my account online.
Yeah, you may see that there. But we will make sure to send those notices out in advance. The other thing also is the last time I was here, we were talking about going to weekly yard debris and weekly recycling, and on our end, everything is going very smoothly. And we've been seeing a fair amount of utilization on that, which is what we expected. We usually do. But that being said, if there's any feedback that you've received from the community about that, please don't hesitate to let us know or let me know, and I can pass that along and we can see if the
A question related to that. As a result of customers having recycling picked up more frequently and having organics picked up weekly, have you noticed many customers moving
downsizing.
from downsizing their trash cans?
I can check on that.
Okay,
What we typically see in communities is it takes a year or two usually for people to really make that connection, say, hey, I can now downsize,
got it. Okay.
because they got to get used to how much they're using
Mhm.
on a regular basis. So, but I'm happy to get those stats for.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I hardly fill my cans anymore except for the yard one.
Same. Yeah.
And so as far as updates go, that's basically what I got. So if you have any questions,
You said that there's new things coming down the pipe, like for the fiscal year or I guess government fiscal year, like 25.
June, yeah.
oh yes, the recycling.
Is that,
change.
is that
Yes.
still
So actually, I just got back.
in the process
Today's
of?
been a busy driving day. I spent most of the day up in Portland today. At the Association of Oregon Recyclers Conference talking about that. Yeah. So what's going to happen, just to make sure everyone's on the same page, a couple years ago, the state passed a law, the Recycling Modernization Act. It completely overhauls the recycling system. It does three main things. First thing is it puts everybody on the same list. So people in Portland or Lake County or here can all put the same things in the commingle recycling cart. The next thing it does, next big thing it does is it pulls the packaging manufacturers into the process as far as puts some responsibility on them. It's a shared responsibility model. They pay into the system according to how recyclable their packaging is. The more recyclable it is, the less they pay, and vice versa. That money will be used for education and infrastructure enhancement to make recycling easier and more effective throughout the state. The next big thing it does is it creates a chain of custody in those recycling processes to ensure that the recycling ends up at a responsible end market and not a riverbank in East Asia. Which I think is really important nowadays because in my world, I've noticed a lot of negative press about recycling. A lot of people are skeptical if recycling actually works and if their stuff is actually getting recycled. I can tell you that in your area here, the stuff that I'm in charge of, your stuff is being recycled. It's going to mills in North America. Our company believes very strongly in recycling. They've invested in a very large plastics, we call it the Polymer Center. It's basically a plastic recycling facility in Las Vegas to pull plastics from all across the West Coast to process that. And they've inked major deals with major companies like Coca-Cola to help ensure that that plastic is being responsibly reused. So back to what here. So in July 2025, cities will be, all residents, cities that offer recycling will have one unified list. There'll be more stuff you can put in the cart.
I'm hoping glass.
So glass is actually one they want to make sure doesn't go in the cart.
So are we going to have glass recycling at all?
Um,
I hate to throw them in the garbage.
I mean,
Yeah.
glass is the most recyclable thing of like. the-
yeah, so glass is one of those
Materials.
things, it is very recyclable. However, that is something you really want to be in a single stream.
Yeah, okay. and
So
Color
we,
mixed or anything like that?
the color mix thing isn't as big of a deal now. The issue with glass is when it gets dumped out on the floor,
It breaks.
it breaks. And so if you guys are looking at doing a glass blue bin thing, that's something I can come back to you with. But they really,
A separate recycling service.
we're gonna have to look at rates for that. Just,
You have a glass drop in up there though, right?
yes, we have a glass in drop off in Corvallis, also in Southtown. There's glass. This part of the RMA, that investment, is they're looking at putting another glass drop off somewhere in Corvallis. We're talking with the city of Philomath to get one out there. So increasing depot access is another big thing. One thing they found when they were, the state found in some studies they did, is that with glass recycling, honestly, the most environmentally effective way to recycle glass is to bring it with you when you're going to a depot anyway.
Okay.
Because the other thing also to note is that there's a good chance wine bottles will get put into the bottle bill. And from what our drivers are seeing, most of the glass they see in places with blue bins, the blue glass bins, most of it's wine bottles. So there's, you do get some of the sauce, like,
Tomato.
Yeah,
tomato
but
sauce.
most stuff is
Pickle
transitioning to
jars.
plastic or has transitioned. to
Yeah,
plastic.
and so just because of how heavy it is, it makes more sense if you're going to be going to the depot anyway to bring a bunch of cardboard or whatever else, bring your glass with you there. It's better to do that than to send the truck around.
I wonder if there's some kind of partnership that could happen between recycling centers and wineries or vintners or winemakers, I guess, just like how it sounds like the polymer facility in the Southwest is working with Coca-Cola. I mean, I don't know if there's some kind of partnership that could happen there where
Yeah.
wineries
yeah.
could pitch in a little bit for the
It-
glass.
It's possible, but it's not a bad idea.
Oregon has a big wine industry. so,
Yeah, it does.
you know.
One thing also that we can talk about with the county is advocating for a proper depot down in this area.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That'd be
I wrote
great.
it down.
Yeah,
Is the nearest one to us is probably the South Co-op?
yeah.
Okay.
And I've mentioned that to the county, and I think we can just keep mentioning that. So Bailey Payne is the sustainability person
Mhm.
at Benton County. He's a great guy to work with. And it might make sense just because of where Monroe is, easier access for people in the south part of the county
Mhm.
to have a depot down in this area. It's just a matter of finding a place.
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, 'cause
And-
we got Bell Fountain, Alpine,
Yeah,
Irish Bend.
yep.
Cranberry.
And it might make sense to put a depot down here. So, yeah, maybe hit them from both sides. You guys talk to them and I'll talk to them.
Yeah,
It
because
could be
I haven't
arranged.
seen pickle, things like pickles and olives and stuff are I don't think they're gonna leave glass jars because of the acidity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so,
Those will probably stay in glass jars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there some kind of rebate or, not rebate, but is there like an incentive for the co-op to kind of coordinate that? Because I wonder if maybe the Paulson family who took over the RFP, if they could be counted on as a hub.
I'm not sure on this. I'm not sure on that one.
It's a pretty central
Yeah.
spot to everybody in this part of the valley
yeah,
or this
it
part of the
get those
county.
northern communities and it wouldn't be that far for us.
Yeah.
It's like 3 miles out.
Yeah.
That's something to talk to the county about because so that money that the producers are paying into the system, that's to help build the infrastructure.
Okay.
And so, and if you guys know of a good spot to site a depot,
I think the Paulson property would be great if they're up for it, but I think
Yeah.
that there would need to be an incentive for them too to participate. So I was wondering, I used to work at the co-op and it's been a long time, but I know that the co-op had a dedicated staff person that would go out and greet people who
Yeah.
had drop-offs. So I don't know if they were getting some kind of grant through Benton County for that sustainability work, or if that's
Yeah.
something that could be extended this far down.
yeah, I'm not sure on that, but like I said, one of the the two goals, big goals for this Recycling Modernization Act, besides making recycling better, is it was really started in response to when recycling changed, when China shut off stopped accepting recycling. And it wasn't just from us, like the whole world. And that messed up the recycling markets. And so they want to make the system more resilient, but then also they want to increase equity and recyclability access for people in more rural parts of the state, and not just, Central Valley to Portland.
Nice.
Right.
That's great.
So,
Well, it'd be nice. I used to be a Pepsi driver and they'd have to pick up their glass
Hmm.
every time they delivered. And if we could work out something where the delivery, I don't know if Pestego still comes down here or if it's coming from Willamette Beverage, but if there would be a way that some of our local stores could have a bin, that would be one way of doing it too. And then their
Yeah.
delivery
Yeah.
people could pick it up.
and backhaul.
Good idea.
Yeah, and backhaul it.
Yeah, it's possible. That's conversation for them. I know that like when you take like your plastic bags to like a big grocery store, the ones that you can't put in there, that's what they're doing is they're compacting and backhauling.
Yeah.
So
What happens when glass comes up in recycling at the facility north at, like up the
Does it go
valley
to
here?
Owen, Illinois still?
no, so you mean at this, so the recycling here, it goes to Source Recycling in Albany, which is really, it's just a reload facility.
Okay.
So they try to clean it out, but
Okay.
really a lot of the glass is already trapped and what they're really doing is baling and then shipping on the markets, when it's in the commingle.
Okay.
The glass in this area is sent to a place in Portland called Glass to Glass.
Hmm.
Is
Oh,
that
so
the
they
old
remelt
Owen,
it and create
Illinois
new.
plant?
Yeah, they're breaking it down, grinding it and remelt.
Right off of 205.
I think so.
Yeah, it used to be called Owen, Illinois.
Yeah,
I used to deliver to them from Pepsi.
yeah. And they're really the only glass recycler.
And until you get to Seattle.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And then fiber is going to, there's a few places we send paper fibers and then plastic goes to a few facilities as
Yeah,
well.
James River used to repulp over there, but
Yeah. It depends on what it is, but we send it to a few different facilities in the state.
yeah, I think Weyerhaeuser has a repulper too.
Yep. So, yeah,
Thank you
Okay.
for all the dedication to
Yeah.
make sure materials are getting recycled and reused and
that's literally my job.
awesome. Thank you for doing it. It's
All
important.
right. Thank you.
Caps off.
Yes, take the caps off. Oh, one last thing. I did want to say that even though there wasn't a huge turnout for the recycling event I did this last spring, I was very glad to come down and do a presentation. And I will also be very much in touch with you guys when we get closer to the implementation of the Recycling Modernization Act.
I thought that was very educational for the people that were there.
Yeah.
I think it was very useful. So it would be nice to have a bigger turnout, but I think it's starting to catch on.
Maybe when we get closer to July.
Yeah, there'll be a bunch of recycling education materials that the PRO, the Producer Responsibility Group, is putting out. And we will be passing that along and adding our own stuff to it as well. So
See, you asked for boxed wine.
I'm not a box wine fan.
Go ahead, Counselor.
With your rate change, is there any way you can send us something that we could put on our website?
yeah, so I can send like a text to what your rate is or a new rate sheet.
Like how you're sending it out with the bills and
Yeah.
stuff? I'm sorry, I was zooming.
Okay,
I
that's
was
it.
trying to finish my job. So yeah, just like a PDF, and then it can also just go on the
Yeah, I can,
city website.
I can send you
Okay,
a notice and then rate sheet.
I tried to chime, but I was driving.
Yeah,
so-
yes, I did respond, but I think you were in the process, Counselor, of.
So I didn't know if it got brought up or
Yep.
you guys even talked about it.
The other thing also is
Yeah,
I'll
sorry.
send, I am in process of sending out our annual recycling guides. Those are in the mail. If for people with emails with us, they're getting a digital version that'll hit their inboxes on December 15th.
Sorry, is that like a holiday recycling guide? Like,
No,
Okay.
it's your pickup calendar, which is
Oh, got it.
much simplified for you guys now. Also, when your recycling event is, and then just what you can put in the cart.
got it. Okay.
And I'll send that to Steve to So you guys can get that
We'll
on
it
the,
on the website.
get it on the website.
Kind of communication that could be sent out to people who use a lot of gift wrap, because around the holidays, there's so many single-use gift wrap that can't be reused or recycled because they're foil on one side or some kind of waxy film on one side.
I'm working on the winter newsletter,
Oh, good. Okay, great.
and
I tried craft
if
paper.
people have their email with us,
Okay,
then they'll be getting a copy of that.
awesome.
Oh,
Thank
even
you.
those bags though, I mean, if you don't reuse it, some of those gift bags are foil too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
use
multi-material
three.
stuff is, you can't recycle.
Yeah,
That
I like
sucks.
brown paper.
Yeah,
Thank you, Ken.
thank
Welcome.
you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you.
All right. So we're ready now for the city administrator's report.
So top of the news is our new hires. We hired Misty Bisbee for administrative assistant. And we hired Charles Cross, Chuck, for utility one.
Nice.
The process this year, we had a full round, a round one interview set. And the mayor, Councilor Linder and Councilor Rich, and either Don for the administrative assistant or Mark for the utility, all sat in, or all participated in that while I covered the front desk and had fun talking to people. Round two were kind of more technical questions. The mayor made it for a few of those. And from that, we selected our candidates.
Yep.
Misty has a degree in English. She has taught 18 years, 5 of those in alternative school. She is not a stranger to working on difficult situations. Says she takes great minutes. I will test her. And also is obsessive about organization, and particularly on the computer digital files, naming structures, organization. That's music to my ears. So she will be sitting up front, and the first step will be to learn the basically the clerk duties that Dawn does. And this would be this would be like your, receiving invoices, getting the mail, receiving the invoices, stamping them, putting them into the system, getting the APs taken care of, answering the phone and getting utility bills paid, that type of thing, talking to folks, all that good stuff. Dawn will then do the reviews of those like I do with Dawn currently. She will take over that particular function. So the first few months, we're going to be splitting those duties so that as we move along, Dawn then can take over more of the functions that require analysis, more of the functions that what a finance officer would do, and also taking over some of the things that require looking at ordinances and that type of thing. Something a deputy city recorder would do. That moves her up, progression into her capabilities. And I think gives us more flexibility and redundancy up front, which we don't have right now, that we need desperately. Chuck, he's like ZZ Top. He has the beard. It was a really difficult choice, actually. We had 2 really good candidates. Both were equal, just nuances on each side. But this individual will start right away. Chuck will start right away with Mark. We're discharging this week, Friday, November 1st.
Yeah.
So he will be out tomorrow with, he'll be driving up to Corvallis for the mandatory drug test. And then he will be joining Mark with all the valve exercising and prepping the lagoons for discharge. I will start him in the water plant, starting that process so he knows how to do the basic startups and operations along with Mark. And he'll be really just mirroring what Mark does and be able to do the basic things. His work process is really geared towards water distribution. That would be reading meters, making sure the meters get in place, everything's being taken care of, meter boxes, operating the water plant, helping Mark with, jobs that require 2 people for safety purposes, that kind of thing. Again, this is something that has held us back in some cases because I know Mark would want to go out and do things, but you need two people for safety purposes. So I think this will really streamline things and get a lot more done out of Public Works. If you were to ask me, what is the business of Monroe in? It is Public Works. Okay, that is our business. Without Public Works, you don't have a city. So making sure we have a strong team. And I think Chuck will be great. Both of them live just south of us. They have Junction City addresses, but just South Cheshire and that area. So they're not far away.
Awesome.
And really looking forward. They start tomorrow morning at 0900 hours. We'll onboard them. And then Misty will sit up front with me. We have auditors in tomorrow to look over all Don's, start finishing that up. So Don will be busy. I'll sit up front with Misty. Chuck will be out with Mark. It's gonna be a busy day tomorrow. So.
I just want to say great job on recruiting so many very qualified applicants. The candidates seemed, I wasn't part of the admin interview process, but all the people that I met for the utility position, they were all great. And then
They
I
were.
heard only good things about the admin group.
The admin, it was just hard. We had one of the utility people bow out. That was John.
Got it.
John's the one that we would have to put a notch, or as someone said, arch the doors, and because he's 6'10". Big guy, but he bowed out.
Got it.
So,
Literally
and
and
I will say
figuratively
that
bowed out.
Charles, but really, there is no difference. They just are just superior. Council Linder, I don't know. This was, sometimes I went through a month and I didn't get anybody,
Mm.
really.
Yeah.
But this group was really a good group. And same with admin. Tough choices all the way around,
Much so.
very much.
It's good to have.
It's a
that
good
tough
problem.
choice.
It is,
Yeah.
because I think in the end, you get,
You get better.
we do, and I think we have people that want to work here. This is something they want to do. It's not a neither of one of them are looking for stepping stones. They're looking to work here and make a contribution to the city. So I think that's great.
That's awesome.
So that's new hires and they start tomorrow. I've got a request in from the sheriff's department for penalties. What are we doing for penalties? That's one of the things in ordinance committee we touched on, but really didn't finish the penalty pieces. We got some of them in for parking and other things. So Mr. Mayor, I'd ask if we might get our ordinance committee together to finalize that, because they are ready to go
Issue.
through town. We have parking 20 mile an hour on both ends of commercial Main and Kelly. So it is now enforceable.
Is it, so this is the fee schedule?
Yes, the fee
Okay.
schedules. Some of our fees, I'm gonna present a sliding fee schedule in like an A, B, C, D, they say class A. We have them for some of ours,
Mhm.
but others because I know that Councilor Cuthbertson was involved with that early on, they had to figure out
Do we have to vote on it once the ordinance committee?
yes, it needs to come back and we need to
Vote on it.
update. It'll be the fee. What you'll be doing is amending the master fee schedule.
Okay.
Okay.
Is what you'll be doing.
Yeah, ordinance will just be kind of a work
Yeah.
session to make sure that, yeah.
It's gonna be done at a work session too, but I can present it, but it's, when I got that, it's like, oh yeah, we really do need
It's
to
a
finish
big
that up.
single topic thing.
Well,
to deal with.
They finished it.
the
Yeah,
sooner the
it
better
is.
is why I was asking.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and so what, November 12th, start work session?
Yes, it is. Yeah, one day after.
I don't
So if
know.
you guys can get that set up by
That
then,
or we do a separate one.
sure,
Okay.
we can do a separate one.
We'll hash it out.
Okay, I'll let the mayor,
I mean, because the next city council meeting's Thanksgiving weekend.
right, the week of Thanksgiving, right?
Which may not have a lot of people here, so.
Mhm.
So,
We'll figure that out too.
all right. Our park host. They have the second limb from that storm, a second limb fell on one of the cars.
Oh, no.
Their insurance takes care of it, but that's the second time it's happened. It wasn't a huge limb, but a
It still
limb
did
falling from
damage.
50 feet
Still
is
does,
Yeah.
big. I'm gonna work with Mark, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna move the fence back a little bit towards that small structure that's right, adjacent to the park host, but it's out from underneath the
Trees.
canopy of the trees.
Got it.
And so they can park there. our concern is that we are required to have security for the water plant.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of space there. And it'd be more than easy just to take a section of fence, move it out and make an area that they could park in.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're gonna work on that, but I just want to let you know that there was a second limb that fell on a car and
Gosh,
And
I'm
this
so
was just a,
sorry.
like a, otherwise is the tree sound?
it is, and we had a
Okay.
tree, we had tree people when they
Come
did
out and
the,
check 'em
yeah,
out and
they
stuff.
checked them all out. They trimmed, they cut out some bad sections. It was not a big limb. It's
Okay.
just one of those things up to the crowns of oak trees. They
And gravity.
It's natural.
snaps, it gets waterlogged and down
Yeah,
it
here it
comes.
goes.
So
know,
I understand the insurance is covering it the second time, but is there anything that we can do, or is there anything the city
that's-
is perhaps
I'm gonna
somewhat
ask
responsible
about a
for?
Deductible.
Okay.
If there was a deductible that we can help with.
That'd be
And the
great.
second part is we need to move them out from underneath
Yeah.
the trees.
Yeah,
Great,
definitely.
thank you.
So I will be proactive, and I talked to Ron about that this afternoon.
Great. Thank you.
This week, Chuck Schultz, I need to get my Chuck Schultz.
They're both in water.
Yeah, and they're both in water.
Mhm.
The Chucks,
Water check.
the Chuck Schultz will be loaning us one of his folks
Mm.
to come out and work with Mark and Chuck to do fire hydrant flushing.
Mm.
So this is something Chuck Schultz and I have talked about, but when you do water flushing, you don't necessarily open every single fire hydrant. What you do is you block off most of our water systems in a grid. So we can close off certain valves, everyone still gets water, but we can force water through a single channel and get it out one fire hydrant. Saves on water, but it's also much more effective in cleaning out the stuff out of the system. So put notices up. It's in the, we put out a notice last month in our bill. We have it on the website. So we'll be doing that as well.
Cool.
Last but certainly not least, I gave each of you a separate sheet of paper. This came in this afternoon. It's from the Corvallis, a reporter from the Corvallis Gazette Times. In regard to the DEQ proposed penalty. You can see my responses. I just want to make sure you're all on the same page with it. The critical piece. Now, how the Gazette Times reporter got a hold of this, I don't know. It sounds the verbiage sounds very much like the DEQ provided it to me, but be that as it may. The issue is that we did in fact go out to their district manager back in April requesting assistance. We never heard back from them.
Hmm.
So, and it was submitted last year as it was supposed to be. And all our response was it didn't comply. And there was no other assistance or no other verbiage that went with it. So Courtney Brown, who is the compliance officer, did hear me, and Priscilla Wolverton, who is the DEQ regulator. We were both online together. When she presented the matrix to me, it was completely finished. I mean, it was wonderfully formatted and done. It's not what I submitted. It was done, except for 3 areas that were blank. Now, I can pull back all that information, but to be honest with you, everything that was sent to them was not blank.
Hmm.
Okay. And so it had to be filled out, which was done and submitted the next day, along with their very long survey. It was a 12-page survey you have to fill out saying all the things that were needed to be done. So once the compliance officer sat down and we all agreed together that this was the only thing that had to be done, it was taken care of. Up to this point, there was, no response, et cetera, to our inquiry. And mind you, the April inquiry, which was also CC'd to Mayor Sheets, came from a certified letter, not to the mayor, but to Councilor Cuthbertson.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yes, that's the other very strange thing. It did not come to the city,
Mm-mm.
did not, usually these things are required to go to the highest elected official of the town. So this was all of this to me, and those of us who talked about it is rather strange.
Yeah.
How this will end up, I assume will be another conversation with the state. But all this information that I presented to you tonight is available and will be presented to the state if they decide to move forward with any penalties or anything else. So I just want to make sure this all came in this afternoon while I'm trying to get everything else done, but that's what happens
course.
sometimes. So I
Thank you
just want to
for-
make sure that that is the total set of replies that I made. The response was, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate how fast you got it back. I'm giving it to my editor to get back in touch. So whether this goes anywhere or not, I don't know.
All right, well,
We'll
Keep
we'll
an eye
have to
on it.
see.
yeah,
And that's my report.
okay, thank you. Any questions for Steve? Nope. Okay, we'll move on. We'll go to the consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. If any item involves a potential conflict of interest, council members should so note before adoption of the consent agenda. A motion to accept the consent agenda is appropriate.
The minutes this month, it took, I mentioned during the meeting, interestingly, that this was going to take a while to unravel. So our two resolutions, which we decided to hear together as we went back and forth,
Oh, yeah.
it was very hard to separate everything. So this is kind of the end result of getting both of them so that they were presented, reviewed. We went back to the first, came back to the second, and discussed them as a whole.
We'll do a better job next time.
There we go.
Keeping
That's
them
fine.
separate.
I did figure it out eventually.
That's
Sorry.
good. Yeah, I know.
No, I think the decision to do it the way it was done was a great decision. Just it was,
I did jump the gun at one point. That made it a little
it was
confusing,
hard
but
to,
thank
it
you for
was
your
hard to
patience.
kind of, so I just wanted to make sure that everything got captured correctly.
Making sure I didn't miss anything when I read it earlier.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing over lunch. Thank you for sending them out email too.
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion that we pass the consent agenda, minutes and paying the bills and financials.
I'll second that.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Regarding consent agenda, the minutes, any of it? Couple people still, couple counselors still peeling through.
No big weird expenses that I saw, so
Not this far.
everything looked like it was all pretty,
And the notes. look
just
like
the
they're all-
standard
Yeah.
monthly stuff.
Thank you for diplomatically capturing my sentiments also toward the end of the last meeting.
I listened to what you said and twice before I made sure it was.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was perhaps a little emotional and
I,
upset.
I think what I wrote actually really did capture, I think fairly accurately.
Thank you.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. You ready? Okay. Counselor Cuthbertson, you ready? Counselor Rich, are you ready?
Yep.
Counselor Myers, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, if there aren't any questions, I'd love to have a motion.
Oh,
I
I'll
did,
make
I
a-
made a motion
Okay. Yes, we have that motion.
and he seconded
I
it.
want another one. No, I'm kidding. I'm
I'll
kidding.
third.
Okay. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. We don't need to confuse.
Yeah,
the
we were
motion.
just waiting if anybody
Okay.
had questions before we voted.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and vote, shall we? Okay, Counselor Lindner,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Rich.
Yes.
Counselor Myers.
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you. Alright. Okay, let's move on to new business. It is resolution 2024-18. This is the 18th resolution this year.
It is.
Wow.
Amazing, isn't it?
Chugging
It
along.
looks like that resolution's towards the back of our packet.
Yeah, so outside the order of the,
Requested by Fire Chief Barnes to support, it goes into their grant packet for the seismic refit of their fire station. And basically what I did was I took the verbiage that they had in there. They had two things. One was a
Right.
letter from basically the form letter. And the second, when I talked to Mayor Sheets suggested that maybe we could have a resolution, so stuck it in at the last
Right,
moment.
I think it's important that we support our local fire department. It's
Mhm.
And
Very important.
Chief Barnes is very, very, very appreciative, by the way, of all of you for
Excellent.
helping.
and it doesn't entail any kind of like,
No financial
we're
obligation.
not under any obligation for any grant. It's just support.
supporting them.
It goes in their packet, what
Sounds fair to
these
me.
grants are required to have support from the local community and local
Mm.
government
It's
organizations.
just too bad the city hall isn't connected so we can get a.
I know, I know.
I
Seriously.
tried, the grant is there, but it's only for first responders and.
Right, I mean, that's
Yeah.
why I said if we're
Um,
connected.
I'll make a motion that we pass resolution 2024-18, a resolution supporting a state of Oregon seismic rehabilitation grant for the Monroe Rural Fire Protection District.
That's a mouthful.
I'll
It
second.
was.
You'll second? She's got the easy job.
What if after they get this grant, they then move the fire station into the current city hall and they apply for another one? Just
And
kidding.
that's actually what I wrote, and when I wrote them the letter, I said, I did put a plug in. I said, our fire, we were the old fire station.
So,
Right.
And
tell us a little
it
about
has been, and the seismic engineer has declared it just
Mhm.
like theirs is.
Right.
Yeah.
So I made sure we were
Mhm.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Why not?
Pat in the
Never
ring.
hurts, you never know.
Appreciate it.
Well,
In case they
yeah,
have any extra dollars.
can you word it as like potential fire district command center?
Mm.
Or first aid or paramedics.
Yes, yeah,
I know.
location,
Yeah. I know.
because the old library spot would be a perfect little triage,
It would be. It used to be a bay for one of those engines.
Uh-huh.
Older
well, a
engines.
smaller one.
Smaller one, yeah. Say older engines. Okay.
Okay, are we ready to vote?
Mhm.
Okay. Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Rich.
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Lindner.
Yes.
Great, thank you all.
You can tell there's a lot of dreams on this council.
Okay, next we've got ordinance 2024-04. This is a second reading, an ordinance establishing a lodging tax.
Hmm.
And that is in our packet towards the front.
It has,
It's in front of the
nothing
other
has
one.
changed from last month.
Okay, this is just the second
This is
reading.
just second reading.
Okay.
I'm sorry, where is this one?
It's in front of the other one we just did.
right
It's-
after the-
Yeah, they were out of order, so it's before the resolution.
It's in
Yeah.
order of,
And there's a whole bunch of text attached with it. so-
Oh,
It's
found
just,
it. Thank
the
you.
have to go back
actual
multiple
ordinance is
pages.
attached.
Yeah.
Kind of
Thank
in
you.
the middle-ish.
And again, nothing has changed from last month.
And then with this one, we would be making a motion to move forward from
Actually,
second reading to what?
You would actually be making a motion to approve this ordinance establishing an 8%.
Oh, we can approve it as
Yes.
of the second, I didn't,
Yes.
well, you said a second reading. I didn't know if there's like, has
Yeah,
to go to
third
another.
reading.
Yeah.
Or you could say, you know what, I have too many questions about this. We really need to go back and table it and go back to a committee or something else. You do have that option too,
Nah.
with any of the resolutions or ordinances.
No, yeah, I just didn't know if we were, if there was another step in the
At
process.
this point, you are okay to approve it if you so wish to do so.
Clarifying question, 8% is kind of the going rate, right?
Yes,
It's
it
about
is.
what
Mhm.
Portland does and Eugene and everybody else.
What I did was, on the initial,
Some other one.
talked about it, I had a chart that gave the different percentages, and 8% is what our region, it seems to go regionally.
Got it.
So the larger cities have more, but if you're in Portland, then Gresham,
Yeah.
Beaverton, everybody has about the same. Down here, Junction City, Harrisburg
Mhm.
all have 8%.
Got it.
The idea is one city doesn't want to charge more than the
Right.
other, forcing,
Right.
people to go
Keep it
one
consistent.
Gotta
direction.
be
So,
marketable.
Yeah.
Right, so the
Competitive.
regions tend to be about the same.
Mhm.
Okay.
Corvallis is 9%.
Oh, okay.
And if we go
8% is
below,
appropriate.
people would say we're cutting them.
Right.
Well, I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance 2024-04 and ordinance implementing an 8% transient lodging tax.
Well, second.
Okay.
My turn, the third.
I did have one quick question. So I know this is for the lodging tax. The other piece of the ordinance for allowing the limited Airbnbs and stuff like that, did we licensing fee and stuff, that would go with the ordinance committee with
Oh,
the
that
fees that
master
we're
fee
talking
schedule.
about?
And at this point, with like permits,
Well, because we had talked about having a fee for the people that were applying for the
Yes, a
the
permit.
license, the permit. Yeah,
right, and that actually.
but I don't think it was in the text of the ordinance.
The actual dollar amount was not. That is correct.
Yeah, and that's what I was asking about. Is there,
Right.
that
We
would be
still need to
part of
set
the,
that.
that would be part of the fee
That
thing
would be part of the fee.
in the
structure,
ordinance?
right.
Okay,
We'll definitely do.
because I know that's like the last piece, I think, to
Yes. And along
this,
with
so
the
that some
permitting and
people
all
that want to move forward,
can do so.
yeah.
Any other
Okay.
questions, comments?
Mhm.
Are we ready to vote?
Mhm.
Okay. Counselor Lindner,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Rich,
Yes.
and Counselor Myers. Yes. Great, thank you. Okay, what do we have up next? Okay, next we've got Library Negotiations Advisory Committee update. Counselor Lindner, would you be up for giving an update?
Yeah, I am excited and happy to.
Okay.
We have been partnering with the SBCEA. We've met twice now, I believe. We've had 2 meetings. And so far, these meetings have been going really well, I think, based on comments I've also heard. Our plan so far, and this is with SBCEA's support, is for the current IGA between Monroe and Corvallis to end on December 31st. Effective January 1st, there will be a quick claim deed. The SBCEA will draft up a new IGA with Corvallis between now and then that will then go into effect on January 1st. And that agreement, the agreement between Monroe and Corvallis will no longer exist. Essentially, it's going to expire at the end of this calendar year. And then the building will be transferred to the SBCEA and they'll be partnering with the city of Corvallis. There will be a transition period. So Monroe will continue to offer some custodial services probably through June, I think is what we've talked about,
The
through
end
the
of
end of
fiscal year.
June.
End of the fiscal year.
Yep. And we did learn through legal counsel that we cannot use the library even temporarily for any part that is not library work. So we can't have a city hall over there for a few months at a time while we transition.
And that was also confirmed by our attorney as well.
Yeah. So, and that's fine. That makes sense. That's in all the documentation throughout the last 13 years, I guess, or whatever, however long that was. And I see next on the agenda that Steve is going to be talking about the fact that he's been researching the costs that would be associated with the city, having a new city hall building and how to balance that with our support of the library for 6 months
Right.
into 2025.
And so I'm in contact with Modular Buildings Office out of Eugene. They're the closest.
Got it.
They do modular classrooms, temporary contractors, buildings,
Yeah.
city halls. I mean, some of their stuff looks like brand new city halls, but it's all modular built. They have their own factory, right? One of their assembly points is here in Eugene. So
Cool.
it's not very far away. And right now, what we're looking at is Northern California and Portland inventory of used things that they can bring down and modify for us. I
Okay.
said, because it's advantageous to them to do what they can. It also lowers the cost for us.
Got it.
They're on the GSA, and as a result, the GSA is the Government Services Administration contracts with the state of Oregon through ORCAP also allow So what we're doing right now is looking at how this can be financed through
Mhm.
that, like on a lease basis. It is different for a government than it is for, say, a private business, simply because we're on an annual budget with that. So there are programs, and so as of Friday of this last week, that's where I'm at.
Do we
Is
get
looking-
any kind of discount for being a government the way like a nonprofit would, or is it not quite the same?
There is a schedule, an
Okay.
approved schedule that the state approves. And so
Okay.
the pricing is part of that schedule that was approved by the state purchasing agencies.
They have to
Okay.
follow GSA or they have to pay back everybody if you give somebody.
Yeah, a discount.
Oh.
Yeah, it's to make it very consistent, but it also allows you to work with a single source rather than go out and do 3 or 4 or 5 bids,
Okay,
which could
Right.
really take a lot of
Yeah,
time.
You're
for
not
an
gonna be able
RFP.
to negotiate any price changes on a GSA.
got it. Okay, and I mean, this is just an aesthetic thing, but are they cool looking since they're
You
modern?
can make them anything, you can make it look like a trailer,
Mm,
or you can make it look like the coolest city hall you've ever seen in your life.
nice,
They have everything.
very cool. I'm glad there are
And that's
options,
part of it. I'm trying to look and say this, of course, they want, as good salespeople,
right?
they want to show you the,
The line.
Upsell, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Top shelf trailer,
I'm thinking, we want something that's functional.
yeah.
Is there financing available through USDA too? I know if they've had other loans for small,
You,
like rural government and stuff. I
there
know
are,
I've
it's
dealt with them
not through
before.
USDA, but there is another one where you can get a similar to a USDA loan for that, where it would be, but those are typically, you can pay it back through fees.
Yeah,
You can also pay it back through bonds.
okay.
So yes, there are.
Great.
And how long is the city going to be responsible for custodial service until the end of September?
End
Is
of
it-
June
The-
of next
the-
year.
the-
You said fiscal year and that starts October 1st, right?
No, that's federal. That's federal.
Okay,
For us, it's June 30th.
okay.
Matter of fact, most companies in the state use June and July as their.
June, July, right? So July 1st of next year will be the start of our fiscal year 2025, 2026.
Mhm.
Thank you.
So it was a suggestion by the committee to go that route.
As
Yeah,
long
thank
as we
you
don't
for
look like
reiterating
A
that.
MASH tent from the TV show MASH. You know?
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that. It was a suggestion. It is not, nothing's been in writing or agreed upon yet, but
Yeah,
that
the
is,
council would have to agree to any
Yeah.
terms
Right.
that were made.
And I'm gonna presume that SBCEA is gonna have rentals for the locations like happening now. So like if a city group wants to rent a space, they can rent a space just like anybody else.
We would have to adopt it.
You don't have anything set up yet.
Just like the city has now.
Yeah, I would assume you
That
do.
would be, but I assume it'd be very similar.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, they would still have meeting rooms, so it's just up to them what they'd want to do with them.
yeah. I'm not talking about just for the city though, but I was talking about like other groups and stuff like that. that
Right.
Might want to rent.
I think we would consider the city a public benefit like other groups providing community service.
Yeah.
thank you. Great. That's all I've got.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, so we're waiting on pricing options, finance options for the modulars.
Right, and
Okay,
you know, I think when you look at this, the biggest cost we have, the monies that we have set aside is for the janitorial costs. I mean, it's the
right.
human cost. That's the most expensive. So there's, besides the cost of the modular unit, there's also where you're gonna put it.
Right.
So if we're using the reader building, we need to sit down and find out, all right, you know, we've had options for volunteers coming to take it down. We need to prep it, you know, that will depend on what kind of modular building. Can we just basically rip it up and put piers down, you know, embed the things and place it on there? Is this gonna be permanent or temporary?
Got it.
Okay, so if it's a temporary thing, while we wait and go out for a bond, for instance, to build a new city hall where the existing is, that's a different kind of arrangement. So what I'm doing is I'm gathering information that would give you those options that you
Right.
could look at and make a good choice.
And there's some funds we can put towards it as well, right? Because there is a building reserve fund with like $30,000 in it,
30,000, yes.
which I know isn't gonna buy a whole building, but
It would help with the
It
prep.
certainly would be part,
For down payment.
portion,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pay our SDC fees to ourselves.
Okay.
I think it might expand our
Yeah.
capacity.
Keep it- You know, if we had this city, you know, our capacity could be grown so much.
You have to serve all those new citizens, so
That's
you need
right.
at least one extra office for another staff member to support all the new citizens.
I'll think about that one.
There you go.
So we really can't, we
10
can't
out
really
back.
talk about cost on city hall and options yet. We need to put that aside right now.
That really goes separately, that
Yeah,
the
it
issue
does.
will be is, can we afford to
Right.
continue paying Ron to do that? Or
Right.
do we have to take that money and set it aside?
Right.
I think at this point, it's probably one of those issues where we would do some kind of financing on the modular unit. And the cost up would be the upfront cost of using our building reserves to prepare the lot and get it ready for
Site prep.
site prep for
Yeah,
our building.
Plumbing and utilities.
Long-term, it's going to be, you know, what are we going to do? Is this going to be fine? Do we actually build something? Do we have a Taj Mahal modular building? I mean, these buildings are built the same standards as a stick build. I mean, they are stick built. They're just built in the factory, not on site. So they actually have
Cool.
tighter tolerances than a lot of buildings do.
It'd be cool if they had some kind of cabin motif ones to go with our timber culture, our long history of being
I saw several
mill.
examples, and they've done, and these are not across the country. These are Northwest. They
Mm.
primarily work in Northern California up to Seattle. So a lot of the examples they have are Northwest
They used to have some
cities and
log
municipalities.
cat fake, well, it wasn't fake. It was like not a full log, but
Half log,
half
right? I know
log, half
exactly,
log
siding, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And
the
some of these
realtor.
have timber, you know, like the long timber, they have the real timber fronts. and,
That'd be
you know,
pretty cool.
Awnings and that type of thing. So
Hmm.
it is, there is a lot that you can choose from.
Nice.
What's the time frame on something like that? Like, as far as, like, if we had to go for a bond, you have to go out to voters, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it would, if we had something that needed to be custom built, it would be about right now it's 90-day lead time at this particular point in time. It lengthens as it gets closer to construction season.
Or if you get a used thing that's already,
They could get it here within 3 days. So anywhere from 3 days to 3 months.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Right now, if
Okay.
you wait until next spring or something, and then we're not looking at that, but if you wait until the construction season, when a lot of people are looking to get,
Right.
then it's longer time frame. But right now, it's a fairly short time frame.
Once they get dropped off on a site, like who comes and sets up the electrical and plumbing and all
They
that?
do.
Oh, they do that too?
Yeah, this is part
Okay.
of the deal. It's like any a manufactured home will have what they call the site crew. So they have the drivers that will drive the manufactured homes to the site.
Mhm.
They'll back it in and get them all right next to each other, the way it's supposed to be. And then a crew comes in right after them and attaches everything, takes the wheels off, puts it on the foundation, gets the plumbing installed.
Hmm.
And then within a day or two, they're done.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think they block it up before they pull the wheels off.
Yeah, they usually block it before they pull the wheels off. Yes.
Cool.
So are we prepared to talk about the library janitorial, how much that would cost between January 1 and June 30th? Do we have that
Right
number?
now, I believe I put that, yes, I actually gave that information out last time,
Okay.
and that was about $20,000.
Yeah, it was in the.
It was in the
minutes.
last
It was
packet. Yeah,
$22,000.
yeah, 22, plus the other monies we had, but it really does,
Yeah.
you know, whether or not the city wishes to move ahead with that, or how many months of that is actually
Mhm.
the key issue, and it will
Right.
depend upon what the final costs are.
Right.
Because we still have to come up with, let's say it's $1,800 a month or $2,000 a month,
Mhm.
times 6, that's $12,000. So we're not currently spending $12,000 for 6 months or $2,000 a month on our.
the
current city
other, I
hall.
guess the other option would be implementing just a fee, right? Through
You could,
the
you
utility
could
bill.
increase your building, your facility fees.
Like
It's
if we
already,
needed
yeah.
$2,000 a month or something for something, then
right? Rather than, have a tax, you could do that. And that might make more sense if you're looking at a temporary while you're going out for a bond. You can go for a bond and pay for your.
Oh, the
property
bond would
taxes,
pay it
right?
off, or whatever.
Right, because at that point, it would be less cost to go out on your property taxes than it would be if you gave everybody the same fee. And so the people, in that case, you're looking at how taxes work, and those that have $1 million homes will pay a little bit more than the people that have $100,000 homes. So in that respect, those things tend to be more equitable across the citizenry, rather than a fee, which everyone has to have. Otherwise, it is in fact a tax, and we can't do that.
I think a percent tax.
Right,
is much.
so if you, right now, we can say $3 on everyone's utility bill. That's fine, currently. But we can't, if we do anything else or we target certain people, then that is in fact a property tax, and we cannot do that.
Thank you.
How soon before we have that, this work session or the next one maybe?
I would hope by this work session, I'm actively in working with them now.
Yeah.
And the salespeople are giving us options.
Okay.
Nice. And we have our next libraries ad hoc committee meeting, November 18th, I think.
18th, right, it's on our calendar, and so I should have this by the work session, and then that will help everyone understand at the next meeting what it is we can or cannot do.
Cool.
Okay. Any other comments? Questions?
Good work on, thank you guys for
Oh, thank you, Counselor
working
Lindner.
diligently
She's the
on
committee
behalf of
chair.
the city with the negotiations.
Yeah.
Thanks. I've had good
Yes.
support.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, we'll move on if everybody's cool with that.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, the next item here is Monroe Toddler Park signage and security. I think we talked about this in the work session. if I
Work
remember.
session, so
The sheriff said recommended more specific signing
well,
for
there's-
rules.
There, one of the comments is that the toddler park in Monroe, we don't really have any place central for kids.
Mhm.
And so the toddler park tends to be utilized a great deal by all age groups. So one of the questions is should we have an age limit on
Mm.
who could be in the park? Like, for instance, under 12 with a parent. Okay. Now, I know that some families have 14 or 15-year-olds come down with their,
They're younger
with their
siblings.
siblings or with several family siblings to
Mhm.
watch them. The other part of it was, and we talked about this last year or a year and a half ago, was actually putting up a magnetic, some kind of gate lock. That did meet with some resistance to families, particularly the Hispanic community at that time. And again, this was about a year and a half ago. In terms of being able to access the park, getting a code and all that. These folks do not like coming into government offices.
Mhm. Yeah.
Very scared of
Mhm.
us, even though we're nice people.
Mhm.
They have their reasons, as we understood from the town halls.
Mhm.
So at the moment, it really is a very small handful of kids.
Mhm.
It really is. It's not the community. It's not a whole bunch of people.
Right.
It's really teenagers and preteens that
Well-
reach a certain age and want to go out there and draw things or sit on swing sets and do things because of their weight is
Yeah.
more than what the swing sets can handle.
Mm.
So the
And didn't we
question
all do
is,
that
how
in
do you
high school?
wish to, how do you wish to deal with that?
Counselor Guthrie.
Well, didn't we, I mean, if we know who's doing it, because it sounds like we kind of have an idea. It seems like if there's some kind of penalty or something that would really slow that down.
Penalty for damage or penalty for being there?
Damage.
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 I don't.
If they can
for me
either be
personally, I
cited
don't care who
or
uses the
trespassed.
park.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
think,
if you're gonna damage the park, you need to be responsible for what you've done.
yeah, I think if we had a, like a weight or size limit on the devices, just like you go to any amusement park that has something, they have weight and size requirements usually, if they can't handle full everybody. So if we had some kind of signage, is that something that people would be,
You can put age limits, you can,
well, I'm not even worried about
mean,
age. If I got an 80-pound 10-year-old and a 60-pound 14-year-old, I mean, who's gonna do more damage?
well, I guess it depends then on enforceability.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
So at some point then we are going to have some, as we discussed, some high resolution cameras out there. The tapes would have to be gone through if there is damage to find who did it, et cetera. So then you're weighing all of that. I guess I don't know. I don't know of an easy solution.
And do they want 4K cameras now, or do 1080s?
Well, you can, anything is going to give you a
720, so they're not,
720, but also we only have one angle over here. So you're gonna
Yeah.
have to get better angles on the cameras in order to get. It's because if a kid's walking away from you, even though you might say, yeah, that's the height and that's the hair, is that really the individual that?
I know the sheriff's department before said the 720s were not.
The 720 just gives you an idea who was out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
need-
really give you any real.
Not
image.
clear enough to identify a person probably, or not for
Well, I think
legal purposes.
there's some
I guess.
even legal precedent of what resolution you have to have.
I mean, I'd prefer it just stay open and that we figure out some sort of way to, if people do damage, if we can see who's doing it and they could be either cited or
Well, I think from a liability standard, we should put some kind of sign saying a weight limit for certain things. If we have lightweight chains, we need to say, we don't want 200 pounders on.
Yeah, in this case, it was a kid who was twisting the whole thing around. Going in circles
Oh.
and
that's gonna
twisting it,
torque it.
and you're gonna torque it
Yeah.
and break
Right,
the
and it
chain.
snaps.
Yeah, I don't
to
think it
break
was the
off.
weight of the person.
Yeah, you need,
It was,
you need,
so how they were using it in a way that was not intended to be.
Do we have a
used.
sign in there currently that says, don't abuse the structure or anything like that? Or, I mean, like, or you'll be held responsible? Like, I mean, if it's not really a weight thing.
But part of that too is that's gonna be really difficult because if you have somebody that can't really understand that and
mm,
doesn't really know what that means.
what
I mean, some
abusing
of
the
these people aren't
structure is.
engineers and they're not meaning to be malicious, but they're just, they got time on their hands and their brains are going all over the place and they're trying to
there's
blow
nothing
off
else to
some
do.
steam. Yeah. And so,
being as a kid, I used to sit in a swing and we'd spin around and let it spin us back. Yeah, but the chains were heavier.
well, and they pinched. And so you learned, you
Yeah,
weren't
you-
gonna do that, but now everything's all,
In
you
this
know,
case, it wasn't one of the little saddle swings. It was the,
right.
Oh,
like
okay.
that structure out there that you can sit a couple
Oh.
toddlers in, the plastic,
Of
seats and.
Yeah.
Oh, that one, man, that's
Yeah,
bad.
That's for little
So
ones.
it's, I mean, that's the hardest part is it's like
Mhm.
malicious is an issue. But some of it just might be,
They don't know.
they don't know better.
We
And
we
so
don't
I
believe
think
that looking at Counselor, to your point, was not malicious.
Right.
It was just. not
they just
thinking.
didn't
They
know.
didn't think.
Other than
Yeah.
the
Right.
graffiti, maybe.
Well, at their age, they're not gonna
That's
know
more
everything,
intentional.
so.
Right.
That's intentional.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
they're.
swing was not.
The artwork was
Well,
intentional.
we could, if we have a generic sign that says you may be responsible for any damage that you create. That is kind of generic, but I mean, it's, and
It's
we might have to
flexible
put a
too.
couple languages, but
Yeah.
People will understand, oh, ooh, I better not break something. They might
Yeah.
think a little bit more. I don't know.
I would recommend we take it to work session and we can kind of
Yeah.
discuss,
Yeah.
we can
That's
come
a
up
good
with some options and
I
then,
think that's a great idea.
and then we can come back. Because I think also this, I mean, we're going into slow season for the park because we're starting to get some rain and
Mhm.
it's starting to get dark earlier. And so hopefully the majority of the problems are gonna mostly go away until
Yeah.
the spring and summer when it warms up again.
I went out and looked at the.
But we
bell
can
fountain
still
for-
work on,
Mhm.
signage and solution, before it gets busy again.
Mhm.
And we could steal their swing set. It's a really nice looking swing set.
It is a nice swing set.
Yeah, but their equipment, I didn't see any signs. I don't know if they had a sign right at the entrance. But it
Yeah.
I mean,
every-
there is a rule sign on there, but it's like really old and like faded and
doesn't say anything about the
could,
equipment.
yeah, and it could use updating for the language and be more specific, I think.
And I think that our languages here should probably be dual language.
I was gonna say that same
signs.
thing.
Yeah.
The one thing about the stuff out at Bell Fountain, and I kind of like the little two climbing walls and the rock one. But what about kids falling off? I mean, that's,
I will say that CIS, our insurance carrier, absolutely detests parks.
I can imagine. I can
No
imagine.
surprise.
But that's why they replaced it with a smaller structure, because the one that was there before,
the
the
wood
wood
one,
one
yeah.
that was there before was taller and
and they also
bigger.
Right.
can afford to put a lot of chips down there and make it softer.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm hearing work session.
Work session.
We
Work
can discuss
session.
options, signage.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
if people have,
there's
a
lot
or if
to
people have
discuss about
ideas
that.
of like, you know, things. we could
Penalties,
do.
you know, like, warning, hey, this is, like, before they break it,
service.
saying, we noticed you were spinning on this, we don't recommend that.
Right.
You may be held responsible for costs.
But yeah, I mean,
No.
is there a way without catching them in the act? I mean, with the camera, is there a way to have certain people trespassed from, like basically they're
Yes.
trespassed for the year or,
Yeah, it's also, if
Or
a kid is
fined
found,
or-
their parents are going to be, their community service,
Right.
any of that.
I just think that that might be impactful. Sometimes a lesson like that. I mean, it's not, we don't have to really be after like a lot of money or anything like that. I think it's just
No, most
that
of
there's a
them-
consequence that they
Mhm.
understand
Yeah.
and that they can learn that, this may not have been the right action, but we can correct that and then you'd be welcomed back as long as you don't, but if there's never any consequence, they don't learn that
Correct.
process. So it would be nice to have some sort of accountability to it so that, we're helping grow better citizens and people that are more responsible and,
That's a nice way to think of it.
for
I like
the
that.
sheriff, is there certain signage we need to have up if we want? Because we've had some issues with not just damage to the equipment, but like graffiti and stuff like that over in the park on the benches and on the equipment. And I don't know if there's signage we need to have up for
Vandalism.
or ordinance for
What I will
citing
tell
people
you-
or something if,
My thought would be because we can only enforce that which is ORS
Codified.
or like a city ordinance.
Mhm.
that we've been-
Right.
We've been tasked with enforcing, so maybe the ordinance side, but the thought that I have is like specific park hours, like the more that's written on a sign
Mhm.
that I can reference when I do an extra patrol or when I come down here and I
Mhm.
contact somebody there, the more that's referenced there, the more I can say, hey, this is against park rules, you need to leave, that type of thing.
Mm.
I think word of mouth travels pretty fast if people are getting consistently contacted. I've already made note of it. I'll let everyone know. that this is-
yeah, but I mean, I just want to make sure that you guys are able, like what we need to do to make sure it's enforceable and stuff too. So
Yeah.
if clearer signs, if we need to revisit our ordinances regarding the usage of the park or something like that, I mean, to clarify it there too, I mean,
Clear signs with,
just so we have kind of,
with hours, talking about, things like trespass, criminal damage, that type of thing. We'll say with juvenile, it is like if I contact a 10 or 11-year-old and there's damage to property, obviously I'm gonna be contacting parents, I'm gonna be talking to parents. But I don't write criminal sites to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
To people that are, doing silly stuff that, once you start getting 15, 16, 17, then it's stuff that I can cite. them that you-
well, and it's not so much that we're wanting to, yeah, we're not trying to send them to juvie or something. I mean, it's more,
right.
Let's tell you.
the city can only absorb so many costs of
We-
fixing
but I
themselves.
will.
Right.
I will make an effort and I'll talk to everyone about like, hey, can we get consistent contacts here? And I guess the question I have is like, when are we seeing, is this like after the football games, maybe kids are up in groups? Is it like when?
Yeah.
Kind of when this is happening?
I mean, part of,
Summer days.
yeah, I think, part of the issue has been, like you said, that our cameras only catch so much, so I mean, probably better surveillance would be helpful to at least identify when stuff is happening. But usually we find out after the fact, somebody goes over there and they're like, hey, like,
A parent will say something.
yeah, there's all this inappropriate tagging on the slide or, whatever,
Right.
whatever it was.
Mhm.
Is our park closed dawn to dusk?
So I'm looking at our
Dawn to dusk.
ordinances right now.
Yeah, do we have a
And
graffiti?
the only
or
ordinances we
vandalism?
really have are around the city park. And it is from 10 PM to 6 AM. That's the
Mhm.
park is closed during those
That one's
times.
closed at 10.
Right. However, if you're a transient and want this dawn to
You can go
dusk,
sleep
civil,
over
yeah.
there.
Well,
So-
and we used to have this one open basically when the city was open, but people complain too because they want
Yeah,
access to it on the weekends
right,
and
exactly.
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Or
And so,
after,
But I
dinner.
mean,
which,
if
I mean,
we-
I want people to be able to use it.
But if it's a
Right.
Tyler Park, you would think that once it's dark, it should be closed.
Yeah.
But if we're, getting pushback on that, I would say put a motion light out there with an alarm. They come in, the light comes on, the alarm goes off, they're gonna run.
I am going to revisit what we agreed to, that we did pass some.
If it
things
has
back.
hours, if we could do a timed lock of some sort where it,
He talked
We,
about-
we
he
have
talked about
actually,
that.
we've actually gone through
We've
this. So
gone through that.
maybe what I need to do
Yeah.
is pull that up from what we looked at it was about a year and a half ago.
It was.
Yeah.
So
we talked about
let
it.
me pull that material back up again so we can
Okay.
review it. We really do not have any ordinances that would cover
Yeah, not
the
this part.
toddler park.
And
What
we-
about graffiti or vandalism? Do we have
Yes,
anything on that?
That we do.
Okay,
Oh,
I
we
just
do,
want to
we do.
make sure that there's something for that.
Any city
Okay,
property.
perfect.
Okay, we do now.
There was
Okay.
a vandalism situation with the building
yeah,
down by the,
with the
Yeah, we had swastikas
fertilizers plot.
Mhm.
painted, stenciled onto our little
yeah,
water intake structure out there.
yeah. And I remember there was an ordinance in place
Okay,
at that
good.
time.
And there is, so let me resurrect that. I made a note here
Thank
to
you.
resurrect all
Yeah,
that
okay.
information.
Yeah.
And we can talk about it when the mayor would like to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes,
So
please.
when it comes to like the graffiti, vandalism, stuff like that, that's absolutely something that needs to be reported to us. We'll handle it, we can handle it. As a criminal investigation, that does not mean that we're gonna take action against, say it's a
Mhm.
young teenager
Mhm.
or child, like, it doesn't mean that we're gonna take it criminally, but we can handle it and address it
Okay.
in
Mhm.
a pretty positive way.
Great.
You know. Then obviously, if it's an adult, if it's a transient, it's whoever, that's something that we will. follow.
Thank you.
And we will be pulling the park benches for refinishing here shortly as well. Mr. Akers actually volunteered to
Okay.
redo them.
How are they? Before, we had people jump on them and break some of that stuff.
Yeah, we had one breakage, which we fixed. That was a few years back. At the moment, they just need to they need to be pulled and refinished regardless. Either put some new
Whether
wood on them
surfacing
or
and stuff.
Yeah.
resurface.
It's time.
It's time.
Okay. Anything else on this topic before we move on?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll shift this to the work session on the 12th of November. Okay, so I'm going to do some reading now. We've got a couple proclamations. One is for Veterans Day. The other is for the Monroe Community Food Drive. So, first one is the 2024 Veterans Day Proclamation. Whereas each November 11th, we pay our respects and offer our thanks to those who serve in the United States military to defend our freedoms and our way of life, the time-honored tribute we celebrate as Veterans Day began more than a century ago, but how we show veterans our respect today is as important as ever. Whereas on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918, World War I came to an end after 4 years of fighting. 1 year later, America dedicated November 11th as Armistice Day to celebrate peace and veterans who fought to make the world a safe place. In 1938, Congress established Armistice Day as a holiday to honor those who fought in the war to end all wars. However, in the wake of World War II and the Korean War, Armistice Day became Veterans Day in 1954, a holiday to honor veterans of all wars from the past, present, and future. In 1975, Congress voted to approve Veterans Day as a national holiday every November 11th. Whereas in 2023, Oregon's veterans numbered 265,000, or 8% of Oregon's total population. Oregon's living veterans served in World War World War II, and that's 2.3% of our population, or of those veterans' population. Korean War is 7%. Veterans War is 3.6%, or 38.6%, excuse me. Gulf War I is 19.1%. Iraq and Afghanistan is 17.7%. And between conflicts is 23.1%. Of those 265,000 Oregon veterans, 5,000 live in Benton County. They are represented in every facet of our society. They are employees and employers who help to drive our state and local economy. Whereas other veterans aren't so fortunate, many bear the physical and emotional scars of war and service. The unemployment rate for Oregon's veterans is 5.3% and 7.7%, or approximately 20,000 veterans live in poverty. In addition, 27.7%, or 73,000 Oregon veterans have a service-connected disability. Nearly 1,500 veterans are facing homelessness. They need assistance. Whereas the Benton County Veteran Service Office, the VSO, assists veterans and veteran families in submitting claims for Veterans Affairs, VA benefits, including compensation, pension, survivors benefits, and VA healthcare. The VSO is staffed by the Oregon Cascades West Council of Governments in partnership with the Benton County Commissioners and accredited by the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs and the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers. Also, the Veterans Crisis Center is available 24/7 to support veterans and their families by calling 1-800-273-8255, or you can text 838255 or visit veteranscrisisline.net for more information. Whereas we observe this day, let us all recognize the commitment and personal sacrifices that our veterans have made to defend our way of life as Americans, Oregonians, Benton County residents, and City of Monroe citizens. We have no higher duty than to ensure that our veterans are supported, connected, and respected in our community. Now, therefore, I, Dan Sheets, Mayor of the City of Monroe, together with the Monroe City Council, do hereby proclaim admiration and support for our veterans on Monday, November 11th, 2024, as Veterans Day in the City of Monroe, Oregon, and call on all residents to pay our respects to all who served in the United States military services, which is their due, and to rededicate ourselves to the task of promoting and enduring peace, so that our efforts shall not be in vain. I promise the next one is shorter. So this is our Monroe Community Food Drive proclamation. Whereas South Benton Food Pantry is a local nonprofit organization with a mission to reduce food insecurity and hunger for individuals living in the Monroe 1J School District and South Benton County. And whereas food insecurity refers to USDA's measure of lack of access at times to enough food for an active, healthy life for all household members and limited or uncertain availability of nutritionally adequate foods. Food insecurity may reflect a household's need to make trade-offs between important basic needs, such as housing or medical bills, and purchasing nutritional foods. And whereas in the 2024-2025 school year, there is some great news to report there compared to last year. All 360 Monroe School District students are eligible for one free complete breakfast and one free complete lunch each school day. Families with tight food budgets can rest assured that their children are getting 2 nutritious meals at school, reducing financial strain at home. Whereas in 2024, there are 7% of Monroe residents, or about 50 individuals, with income below the poverty level. Oregon's poverty level is $15,060 per year for an individual and $31,200 per year for a family of 4. Whereas in response to such unsettling times, the City of Monroe is partnering with the South Benton Food Pantry to help our community with non-perishable food and toiletries. Donations are accepted at City Hall or any business with a food drive flyer and a drop-off food drive container. Now, therefore, the mayor and the Monroe City Council do hereby proclaim the months of November and December 2024 as the Monroe Community Food Drive in the City of Monroe, and urge South Benton County residents to bring non-perishable items to Monroe City Hall, or again, as any business with a food drop-off drive container to help combat hunger and food insecurity in our community. Thank Thank you for listening to me. So we're gonna move on to old business. Steve, what do we got? Do we have any sort of update on the pedestrian bridge?
I'm working on the application and getting final costs from Dowell Engineering, who did the initial report for us.
Okay.
I need to have, and actually it has some very interesting questions from ODOT. They're actually also very interested in this project
Oh,
too,
are
for a
they?
variety of reasons.
Interesting.
So I get to work with some engineers as well. They're looking at bridge costs, and one of the things is they're wondering why it costs them so much to build a bridge and other people are building it for less, and they're kind of trying to figure this out. I think the state of Oregon citizens have been wondering that for a while, so I will, maybe I can help them out. I don't know. So that application is due in January.
Okay. Okay, the next thing is 1135 Project Dam Removal Grant. We don't have John here tonight.
So I'm waiting. There are 3 certificates that need to be signed and turned in. I have 2 of them. That was from myself to sign, but the other one's from the attorney, and the attorney wants a comma inserted.
What?
Commas can kill.
Needs to have, the attorney has to sign one of them. To be clear, there's a financial statement from the finance officer. There's one from the city certifying that everything is the way it, the resolution and things that you've asked is adequate for the, with the city from the administrative viewpoint. And the third is from the attorney herself saying that the city has done what it's supposed to do, and she wants a comma inserted. So I inserted the comma and I'm sending it back to her for signature. Yay.
Okay.
So there you go. That's the 1135 update.
If we could just sprinkle some bureaucracy in there, that'd be awesome.
Oh,
Just a little bit powerful.
Just a
comma.
Yes.
funny.
Just 10 more years.
Does it change me?
Oh my
I
gosh.
can imagine.
I'm a fan of the Oxford
Let's see
comma, but
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I know.
The next item on old business is, do you have any property development and or planning updates for us?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Ooh.
So I'm working with Mr. Oakes right now on his 5-acre, his 5 property lot. That's gonna be coming to you because it's a partition for 5 lots. It would be GRB. So it would fit the 5,500 square foot lot, but it has to come to you guys for that. I'm gonna try and get that on the agenda quickly. I have also working now with Surge Pacific National Development. They are really moving ahead quickly on the 22 to 26 homes on between 8th and Ash. So I'm working on the utilities and making sure that there's no deals being implied or otherwise, so that this goes exactly the way we intend it to go. And also I have received some level of, I won't say confirmation, but at least a okay to proceed with our UGB on the new 15, they have a small city provision that I have to go through DLCD to get permission to use it. They've said, yeah, I'm going to go ahead with the applications to do that. I have to then at this point go, we have to have land use hearings, and I also have to fill out a form basically with the DLCD saying to apply for this exemption from the big process that you would otherwise have to go through. So I got that information last week, and so it's on my list of things to try to take care of as quickly as possible. I'm hoping with staff in this will help a little bit with spending a little bit more time on the planning functions, which are time intensive. Counselor.
I've had like 4 or 5 people reach out concerned about surveying going on the northeast side of the highway on the north end of town because there were people out surveying and apparently a few
Oh, that's-
people asked
That's by
questions,
ODOT.
but
It's ODOT.
nobody said anything. Okay.
It's ODOT doing, that they're actually looking.
Doing ODOT things.
ODOT things, they're actually, well, one thing they're looking at is our sewer holes that are sunken to
Hmm.
fix that. The other part of it is to widen the shoulders
Okay.
a little bit out there as well. A car went off the ditch by First Street there, earlier in the summer and damaged the roadside. And
Oh.
upon investigation, they need to do some rip wrap and some shoulder widening. When that's going to happen, I don't know. It'll happen in ODOT's time, but that's what the survey was.
That's really interesting because there was another comment made about that too. So I love that and I will, anyway. Yes, but thank you. People were just curious and apparently whoever was surveying didn't want to say who they were with or what they were doing. So.
Yeah, that's actually very typical of those folks, unless you know who they are or, you know, mention names, they typically won't say exactly. They'll say, well, I'm under contract
Mhm.
to
Right,
do it. So we just simply call Region 2 and ask.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, when they were doing the corners with the cobblestone,
Mhm.
didn't want to interact much.
No, no.
No,
Not a whole lot of eye
They
contact there.
typically don't, and the reason why is because a lot of these are contractors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be caught up. They're well aware that citizens ask these questions and then.
Yeah.
You know, so that they just have been told to.
Keep
say
your head down
nothing.
and work.
Yeah, keep their head
Yeah,
down and keep
exactly.
working.
Yeah.
So we just, in this case, called Region 2
Got it.
up in Corvallis.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify for those that were
Yes,
concerned
for-
about
for
that
the
situation.
Inquiring minds.
For
that
the
wish to
inquiring
know.
minds.
Don't worry, I inquired as well. so.
That's good. It's all fine.
We may have some, on the planning note, we may have some surveyors in the Loving property.
Okay.
Doing similar, but what they're doing is looking at the easement, the city easements and trying to map out what they can do. So it's still very preliminary at this point, but they are looking at it. So
Okay.
somewhat encouraging. And I did get 2 calls and one seemed fairly serious about putting a gas station in.
Oh.
Whoa. Hey now.
Depot Street property.
Which street?
Depot
Depot
Street.
Street, you know,
Oh.
for that,
Over
the
Ellis
fertilizer
property.
plant.
Between
Hmm.
Sixth Street.
I thought
Yeah.
that was,
Over by
I thought
Harry.
somebody else was moving in and doing stuff with it already.
At this point, it appears that a gas station is the hottest ticket at the moment for that property.
Okay.
And it would be a very welcome one. I
That
think.
would be a really
Although
hot
you-
ticket for a
Although
lot of
you
people.
asked about another piece to this too.
Yes, I did. I wanted to, I just, you're putting A and W in there, aren't they?
Nice.
The broker was non-committal,
Oh.
but it is a commercial, it is a retail station, not a card lock.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Which
that
is
I
good
did
news.
confirm. It's a retail station, but no information on who these are typically franchises.
Right,
So,
right.
you know, they
Card-
were,
Is Cardlock like CFN?
right,
Like,
exactly.
okay,
Yeah.
got it.
That's
Yeah.
already what we have.
That's the gas station we have that you can't use.
Right, yeah, just want to make sure, yeah.
Well, you
The one that everybody
can,
drives.
but-
You
You
have to
pay
have your
the fees and
membership
get on the
card.
network and whatnot, yeah.
So you'd start your business and get a card
Yeah.
lock.
I have,
Yeah.
right.
Like I did with Pacific Source or whatever they were. I did that when I was traveling a lot
Yeah.
across country. Anyway, but that's your planning update for the moment.
Okay,
Fuel
then.
Station plus possibly a convenience.
I asked if they would have a convenience store. I said, like a, 7-Eleven or Mart, mini Mart of some sort.
I mean, it is right
Just-
next, it's right next door to the Dollar Dollar
Just
General.
based
so I don't know.
upon the comments that are made, it looks like it might be one of those mini Mart type
Hmm,
Ooh.
or a Subway or A&W.
I want A&W.
A and
I do too.
Or Subway.
I
would
would
be
vote
great.
for that. I second that.
The town really has made a lot of comments in our town halls about having some place that has ice cream and
Yeah.
Oh,
that
yeah.
type of thing. So
That
Definitely.
works.
I did plug.
That
Self-serve.
works. You be very specific.
Right.
So each time I have an opportunity, I do try to plug. I think some of this works slowly because we have to deal with the state of Oregon and they just don't
Mm.
work quickly.
Yeah.
And it seems like when you send emails in, you don't get a response, so you have to go back again and you don't get the same person again. Pat Weingart, though, at DLCD is very, very helpful and he's a good representative. It's just that right now this law that allows UGB is new. So they're trying to figure out it as well. But it looks like we have some progress on it. So that's
Nice.
good.
That's great.
Is there any progress on opening up Depot Street as a public road between there and
There
Sixth Street?
is, yes, there is. As a matter of fact, this is part of the Oaks property. I am finally got Joe Martis and I to talk about that so we can move that ahead. And
Yeah.
that is part of the deal, which was to make that into, at some point, a city street.
Yeah, because two of us have been maintaining it for potholes all the
Right,
time. Yeah.
exactly. So, yes, there has been progress on
nice.
that as well.
All right.
At least up to my place.
Exciting things.
Slow, was it government works slowly but exceedingly fine or something like that? So that's our. It is frustrating at times. I've said, I really would just like to make a phone call and just say, would you guys get this done? But it doesn't quite
No,
work
it
that
doesn't
way.
quite work that way, does it? Trying to pull something up. and have good Success. Okay, any other comments for Steve on planning updates, questions? When that A&W is gonna be here?
That'd be so nice.
I want to pop a bear. Pop a burger.
Or an in and out, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have lines that would stack traffic up from Corvallis to Eugene.
Yeah.
They used to be popular.
Oh, do we want? that?
McDonald's.
How about a salt and straw ice cream?
Oh, that's a good
I'm
one.
sure that is really Monroe.
Too
Not
expensive.
really. Yeah, it is expensive.
There used to be an In-N-Out that was not related to the In-N-Out from Southern California. That was here in Benton County before. There was one on 9th Street where the old, the mall is now.
Yes, there was. That was next. That was the one after Bob's Burgers on the,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was one out on Philomath, right across from the Chevron.
Oh,
I remember that. That's from growing up. Yes.
But it was a separate In-N-Out than what everybody calls In-N-Out.
Same
And they-
name, but a much different. Yeah, that was.
Different
that-
company,
yeah.
yeah.
very good food, actually. I mean, for fast food.
Now the In-N-Out's moved here, they probably can't use that name anymore.
Well.
We could get a
the other
Burgerville.
company might-
Yeah, they would.
Oh, I'd love a Burgerville.
Walla Walla onion rings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you gotta
All right.
just
We're all
stop,
just getting
stop
hungry. I
now.
haven't
We're gonna get
had breakfast
hungry.
yet Today,
Now
so.
we're gonna go to road trip and get onion rings.
What are the city events and happenings that are going on?
Okay, well.
I had a question about that.
Oh, you do you? What's your question?
What are they?
Okay.
You have a map and a flyer.
He didn't,
No, I'm
he didn't
saying
want a
let's-
map.
I'm saying let's move forward on this agenda and get out of here.
See,
So the work
Yes.
session's actually on a Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Correct, we're not gonna
I'm
have it
turning
on.
into a pumpkin here.
me too.
You are? Wow, okay. Well, we better hurry then.
The work session is when?
It's November 12th.
The 12th because
Of
Monday
Veterans
is a
Day is the
holiday.
11th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of obvious, right?
Okay, so I will go in, I will dive into events. So of course, naturally, we have the Halloween Spectacular on Thursday. Be there or be square, or at least bring a kid with you and go around and get some free
And City
candy.
Hall has its decorations up.
Yes, excellent.
Aw.
That's awesome. So City Hall will be handing out candy between 4:30 and 7:30. I will be there. I welcome any of the city councilors to come and join me. You can dress up too if you want, because I will. November 1st, which is Saturday, if I'm getting my, no, sorry,
Friday.
that's
Isn't it?
Friday. What is the date on this?
Is it Friday or not?
That'd be Friday. So November 2nd, my apologies. November 2nd, I wanted to bring this up because this is a community member. So Stan and Lori Thomas, they're going to be doing a special, I guess, session called Grief and the Holidays.
Mhm.
And this will be at the Monroe Christian Church. So that'll be Saturday at 10 a.m.
I'm sorry, what in the holidays?
Grief. and
Oh,
the
grief.
holidays. It's
Thank
like
you.
a 2-hour seminar.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, you're fine. So I wanted to just call attention to that, as I'm not the only one that's gone through some grief in the last year or so. I know others have, and this may actually benefit people in our community. So I wanted to bring that up. I'll make sure to post it on Facebook and share it out as well. And as I read the proclamation for the Monroe Community Food Drive, we're doing that in November and December. So we already know that. We do have the Alpine Holiday Festival at the grade school on November 9th. That's a Saturday. We're gonna do the toy drive again, which will be the first 2 weeks of December. And Dollar General, last year, they got tons of donations for that. So I think we'll go ahead and partner with them again. And I think we'll take some toys at City Hall as well. I think even Don went over to several times, I think, over to Dollar General to gather up the toys because they were just lots of donations. It was awesome.
And this is just a general toy drive, not like the tree where you. buy
This
for
is
Not a-
specific
this
not
is
a
purchase.
general.
certain tree or
Okay.
a tree, yeah,
No,
it's
no,
just a
it's
toy drive.
Cool.
And as we get closer, I'll post the list as well. And then the 14th of December is the light parade.
Yes. It's the best thing. I love it.
So someone's very excited about it. So that's the events that I have so far. Again, if there are other events that I'm missing, please let me know. I'll make sure they get on the calendar for the city.
One thing that we should think about is a clothing or blanket drive and things like that. Because if we have people that are hurting for food, they might not have,
Right.
good socks, things like that.
Sorry.
You're fine.
I have a thing to add to the calendar.
Okay, you do? Cool.
We discussed a staff party and I think we decided on December 8th, right? But that's city staff council.
Yeah, that's it.
Was it the 8th?
I think it was December.
It was Sunday, December 8th in the afternoon.
Okay, and that'll be here, and it is not an event open to the wider public. It's just for our city staff, the council, the mayor, I think probably spouses
And kids.
and kids. And it's kind of a staff appreciation / holiday party. We're thinking if people have ugly sweaters, please wear them if you want.
The city,
But-
we thought the city would provide pizza and
Yes,
folks could bring salads and desserts and
yeah,
other
Right.
things that they wish.
yeah. So
Do we have a time on December 8th that we decided? Did staff have a preference?
That hasn't been decided yet,
Okay.
but staff do know, and we will let our new staff know tomorrow morning.
Well, there we go.
Yay. Cool.
Alrighty then.
Then,
Okay. All right.
if not sooner, I'll see if I can bring them by, herd them
Okay.
in here to,
All right.
and
you must come before the council.
Oh, sure.
that didn't need to go to vote, right? I feel like I probably should have talked about it earlier, but maybe it's not
No,
a big deal.
Not at all.
Okay, cool. Great.
This is one of those cool things where we can collaborate and not
Awesome.
have a resolution in a second.
Good.
No resolutions, no ordinances, okay?
Okay.
The last bit here, committee reports, budget, we're kind of in a pause right now until we need to meet again.
Probably the first part of the year to go over,
Okay.
particularly after we decide how
With the library. and- and
library
City
and the
Hall.
City
and
Hall
all that.
and all that. We'll
Yeah,
probably want to sit
That
down
makes
with them.
sense.
Kind of a quick status.
Yeah, quick status.
Okay, economic development, November 21st. To
Man,
answer your question, I forgot to respond. We were doing interviews and I completely spaced
oh,
this month.
okay.
And
was
I
like-
did too.
My
Yeah,
phone
I'm
fell down
sorry.
I was rushing back from a doctor appointment. My phone fell on the floor, so I was in a traffic jam. I'm going, I'm gonna be late. And I
And you
got
get
there
in, there's
like
nobody here.
5 minutes late and there's nobody here. I'm like,
I apologize too.
Yeah.
That should have been, but we were in the middle of the interviews.
Yeah,
and
we
it's
were
like
hip
I'm-
deep, I think, at
Yeah.
that point. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys really are pissed at me. Let me know. So-
Yeah, we
Could've-
decided
no,
Harry
never.
wasn't there, and so we just decided we're just gonna cancel this thing. If he's not
No.
here on time, we might as well just leave.
And I would never do that.
I was coming across the bridge, I swear.
You're fine. Finance and personnel, we haven't decided yet on that, have we? Did we decide on a date, Dan? Did we actually hash something
No,
out?
I think Steve had some stuff he was gonna gather for us, then we'll.
And then
work
we'll
out a
figure out
date.
the date.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to remember, but I
It
think
was like a
Councilor Rich is
final,
correct.
finalizing of the,
Hiring.
well, not just the hiring, but the,
Are we talking
what
about
is it, the
jobs?
workbook, employee handbook?
The employee handbook and then
Employee handbook.
I think also Steve's job description too.
Yeah, the job description.
So, but well, I don't think we actually set a date for that yet.
No,
Can we do that after this meeting?
We can.
Or do we want to do it right now?
Job
Or-
description was future retiree.
Well, but we need to
Well,
find a
that's it.
successor.
But we can't hire a future retiree for
That's not gonna
running the
work.
city.
You said, talking about, okay, Steve's positions jobs.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe
Yes, we
stay
can,
after.
counselor.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, that's
Yep.
fine.
Ordinance, I'll sync up with all you guys later and we'll figure out a date and I'll communicate with Steve and see if it works for him. Parks, I think we'll sync up on that later too, see if, as well as Public Works, although I don't know, it might be time for one in December. I don't know, what do you think?
Probably. I
Okay.
just, my time is extremely limited
Yeah.
due to health and things for the next few weeks, and then
Right.
hopefully
Well,
things will
then-
start.
And if we have to, January would be fine
Too.
too.
Yeah, I mean, there's the
Yeah.
holidays too. So I
Right.
mean, it's crazy, crazy time.
Crazy time.
So everything can be pushed. It's not a big deal. Library negotiations, we do have that one set for November 18th.
Woo.
That one is set. Also, the next work session, we've talked about that is November 12th. Now we're down to, do any of the counselors have any comments?
Good show.
I think I already had my mouth open enough today.
Anyone else?
Oh, this is just an anecdotal thing, but I attended the open house tour of the house, the big Craftsman up the street on Commercial. Really beautiful inside, needs a ton of work. I really hope it doesn't get bulldozed. That's all I want to say. If somebody here in this room has the means to purchase it, please do it. I also learned that it was built for a Monroe mayor.
Mhm.
And it has only been owned by 3 people, including the current, or 3 families, including the current owner.
And the same carpenter who did the woodwork inside there also did the same woodwork for the Wilhelm House, for Baker's house.
That,
Hmm.
okay, that I
Yeah.
believe that.
Yep,
It
building
is
says.
beautiful inside
William Tony,
and
yeah.
it would be really kind of a shame if it didn't exist in Monroe. I don't know if there's any way that we can get it onto a historic register. I doubt we can't if it's not already on it, but man, I hope it gets preserved. It needs a lot of work though.
That would help it with funding to repair it and rejuvenate it.
Yeah, maybe that could be the next city hall. Just
That
kidding.
would be nice.
That would be a very cool city hall, actually.
Hey, can we use that?
Tim's got a question.
I know, but Counselor Rich said something.
Oh,
It's
Oh.
a counselor comment.
No, the Wilhelm House. We use that for City Hall? How big is it?
Owned by Delaney?
Yeah, that Bennett House.
Yes,
It's in pieces though.
And I
we
I
can
heard that-
assemble it.
It's
Some
a
of it
giant
wasn't-
puzzle right
Well, I
now.
mean, it's something we already, that we already kind of have access to, and people want it to be able to be used as like a
That's a
historic
good-
building in town.
I heard
Huh.
that not all the pieces survived storage. Whatever.
Yeah, that,
The pieces are basically there, some are not, or some are rotted.
right.
And you have to rebuild it. It's more like a
Mhm.
facade. It's more like you build the structure and
Oh,
tack
okay.
Yeah.
tack
Well,
the things onto it.
buy the trailer and put the facade on.
Yeah, it'll be like the old haunted house that was
Oh, okay.
over
Well,
on
no,
the.
I was just
the
thinking,
lot.
like, well, if we have that building in storage, like,
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
That's
put
a
it
great
together
idea.
and.
Well, isn't that
use
over
that.
at Hull Oaks right now?
Yes, it is. And
Yeah.
Todd said, I asked Mark to talk to Todd
Mhm.
and he said, anytime, come on over. I wanted to go take a look at it.
Yeah.
And so maybe I should now.
that's,
It's a good time to go look.
I
at it.
mean,
That would be
even
a
if it
really
needs some
cool-
refurbishing, if it's mostly intact, I mean,
You know, one
We
of the
might be able
things,
to
what you
be
would do is
workable.
build the structure. But you wouldn't have to build it to the same.
maybe you could get some
necessarily.
kind of grant for it too, because it's like an old historic building.
What we need to do, now, we could do that. I mean, this has been brought up before. Some folks in town have said, no, we don't want historic buildings or districts or that type of thing, but you can do that. That's something the city can do.
wouldn't we want?
It
Yeah,
does
right,
put
with-
restrictions on what folks can do with their homes, and I think
Right.
that
Well, and we
that's.
actually do have a district. We
Replace
just
the
haven't put
window
this,
frame.
we just haven't put the
It's a
signs
Baker
up.
district, but it's not what they call an official historic.
Right, true,
District,
true.
which does change taxing and
Hmm.
what you can do with those
Okay.
homes and,
Oh,
Right.
you know, it does make
Complications.
restrictions.
Right.
on it. It's
Yeah,
like
right.
Albany's historic districts
Right,
and those homes,
right.
they have.
Yep.
My daughter, for instance, has a historic home, and so
Mhm.
when she wants to remodel, she has to have a whole bunch of paperwork
Yeah,
saying what she can and cannot do with it and,
Mm.
and have it approved by the city.
Right. Okay, Commissioner Eastridge, you had a comment or a
When you're
question?
talking about a you're talking about a modular home or a office,
Mhm, right.
and I wish I'd have done this with my manufactured home and pit set it.
Okay.
Because ADA wise, you
Mhm.
just walk right into the place.
Right. I think we've
instead of
actually,
having to
Steve's
just
mentioned
stand
I
that.
think he mentioned that you could get ground level access if you,
Yeah.
Not, I didn't
Install
want
it
the
that
ones
way.
with ramps on it.
It's
No,
very,
yeah.
very important to look
Mhm.
into that.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
no, I agree with you.
If
Agreed.
you're gonna make it permanent, really look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
True.
Yeah, we were gonna look at the ground level. That's what we're looking at, is not setting
You
it
got
up.
a second on my vote.
Excellent.
Yeah, because we were talking about if we had to do ramps and all this
No,
kind of
and that's
stuff.
just
It just adds a lot of expense and it doesn't work.
maintain it
Yeah.
too.
You might as well
Yeah.
put the expense into a headset.
Yes.
And
Agreed.
if you use the reader building, all that sewer and stuff's on that side of the street anyways. So it'd be really
Yeah,
easy to get
true.
to.
Utilities
Yeah,
are
right,
all
right.
there.
But-
Yeah,
Mhm.
easy enough. Okay.
And we'd have parking there too.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other counselors have any comments? Okay. I don't have any comments. I've talked enough tonight. Lots of reading. So we're good. Thank you all. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
We are adjourned.